SpaceX has delivered its most powerful vacuum Raptor engine to Starbase. Yes, the engine we've all been waiting for. SpaceX is planning for an inaugural orbital launch attempt in July, so let's take a good look at the all-powerful engine. Hello guys, welcome to Tesla News, where we bring the newest and best updates about Tesla and Elon Musk. In today's video, we'll be talking about the new SpaceX Raptor engine and all the news related to it. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on post notifications to stay updated on the latest news. We also have a Discord community. Make sure to join the server to discuss further topics and be part of the family. Alright, let's jump right in. Raptor engine. Raptor is a family of full-flow stage combustion cycle rocket engines developed and manufactured by SpaceX for use on the Starship fully reusable launch vehicle, which is currently in development. The engine is fueled by cryogenic liquid methane and liquid oxygen rather than RP-1 kerosene and LOX utilized in SpaceX's previous Merlin and Kestrel rocket engines. The Raptor engine has twice the thrust of SpaceX's current Merlin engine, which powers the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy launch vehicles. Raptor will fly in both stages of the Starship system's two-stage to orbit Super Heavy lift launch vehicle, which will replace Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy. The Starship will be used for various purposes, including satellite delivery to Earth's orbit, the deployment of a large portion of SpaceX's own Starlink mega constellation, and the exploration and colonization of Mars. In July 2019, the Raptor engine flew on the Starhopper test vehicle for the first time, making it the first full-flow stage combustion rocket engine ever flown. With a combustion chamber pressure of 330 bar, Raptor holds the record for the highest combustion chamber pressure ever reached by an operating rocket engine, exceeding the RD-701 rocket engine's 300 bar mark. The Raptor engine runs on subcooled liquid methane and subcooled liquid oxygen in a full-flow stage combustion cycle, compared to the Merlin engine's current open-cycle gas generator system and LOX/kerosene propellants. The RS-25 space shuttle engine and numerous Russian rocket engines, such as the RD-180 and RD-191, featured a staged combustion cycle. As thorough design for the Raptor engine progressed from 2012 to 2017, the reported design size ranged from a high of 8,200 kN of vacuum thrust to a significantly lower objective of 1,900 kN. The operational engine is predicted to have a vacuum ISP of 382S in its 2017 edition. The Raptor engine is designed for the use of deep cryogenic propellants, fluids cooled to near their freezing points, which is typical for cryogenic rocket engines. Subcooled propellants increase propellant density, resulting in improved engine performance and the ability to store more fuel in the vehicle's tanks. Because of the larger mass flow rate per unit power generated, specific impulse is raised, and the risk of cavitation and turbopump inputs is minimized. Dual redundant spark plug-fired torch igniters manage engine ignition for all Raptor engines, both on the pad and in the air, avoiding the requirement for a specialized consumable igniter fluid, as required on Merlin. Raptor is said to be capable of providing longer life and more pleasant turbine conditions. Specifically, Raptor utilizes a full-flow stage combustion cycle. With a low fuel ratio, all the oxygen will power an oxygen turbopump, and all the fuel with a low oxygen ratio will power a methane turbopump. Before entering the combustion chamber, both streams, oxidizer and fuel, will be thoroughly mixed in the gas phase. Only two full-flow stage combustion rocket engines have ever been tested on test stands before 2014. The Soviet RD-270 project from the 1960s and the Aerojet Rocketdyne Integrated Powerhead Demonstrator from the mid-2000s. SpaceX aims at a lifetime of 1,000 flights for Raptor. Many components of early Raptor prototypes were manufactured using 3D printing, including turbopumps and ejectors, with the effect of increasing the speed of development and iterative testing. The 2016 subscale development engine had 40% of its parts manufactured by 3D printing. Instead of the pintle injectors used on the earlier Merlin rocket engines that SpaceX mass-produced for their Falcon family of launch vehicles, the Raptor engine uses many coaxial swirl injectors to admit propellants to the combustion chamber. The engine's cost was estimated to be around $1 million in 2019. SpaceX intends to mass-produce 500 Raptor engines per year at the cost of less than $250,000. SpaceX funded the development of the Raptor engine entirely through private investment from 2009 to 2015, with no government funding. In January 2016, SpaceX and the US Air Force agreed to share $33.6 million in defense funding to develop a specific Raptor model, a prototype of a new upper stage variant of the Raptor engine designed for potential use as an upper stage on Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy. SpaceX agreed to fund at least $67.3 million on the same upper stage development project on a minimum 2-to-1 private to government funding basis. Latest news. Elon Musk said in March 2021 that he would set a goal for SpaceX to try Starship's first orbital launch no later than the end of July, roughly 4.5 months away at the time. Though the chances of an orbital launch attempt in July have almost vanished, SpaceX COO and President Gwynne Shotwell reaffirmed that the company is still shooting for July for Starship's first orbital launch attempt. As of early July, to reach that goal would require SpaceX performing a series of spectacular engineering and rocketry feats in record time, or attempting some pretty unconventional corner cutting. The launch pad and launch vehicle hardware required for Starship's first spaceflight are still in the works. Musk unexpectedly revealed on June 24th that the Super Heavy booster prototype that SpaceX is currently assembling isn't the booster that will carry Starship on its first space launch attempt. In other words, even though SpaceX's Boca Chica factory is littered with hundreds of rings in various stages of completion, the company has yet to begin assembling the massive 65-meter tall rocket required for the first orbital launch attempt. Using Super Heavy Booster 3 as a ruler, the assembly could easily take 9 to 10 weeks depending on when the process starts. In other words, if SpaceX began stacking Booster 4 today, the rocket would most likely not be completed by the end of August. Unless SpaceX takes exceptional shortcuts, building the booster is just the first step in the flight preparation process, and B4 would still need to be qualified for flight, which would most likely include at least one cryogenic proof and static fire test. Even in the best-case scenario, the orbital flight test rocket wouldn't be ready for Starship installation until mid-August, assuming SpaceX manages to halve Booster 4 assembly time in one fell swoop and gets the second Super Heavy ever completed through qualification testing in a single week. That would give SpaceX barely 4 weeks to complete the Starship S-20 assembly, which has yet to begin. Like Starship SN-15, which had hundreds of enhancements, as Musk claimed that Ship 20 and all subsequent ships would have a new set of upgrades needed to get Starship into orbit. Starship SN-15 was very gradually stacked and assembled over the course of almost 4 months. However, that slow assembly can likely be blamed because SpaceX is busy testing Starship's SN-8 through SN-11 and was effectively waiting to see if any other significant changes might be required. While most of the S-20's enhancements are unknown, the ship's thrust dome, which was spotted in action at Starbase earlier, has already verified that the prototype will be the first to be equipped with the appropriate hardware for Raptor vacuum engine installation. S-20 will most likely be the first Starship to try to static fire 6 Raptor engines, producing more thrust than a Falcon 9 booster. One such vacuum-optimized Raptor arrived in Boca Chica for the first time on June 27th, indicating that the engine, which is still relatively new, may be ready to begin integrated Starship testing. Elon Musk later said that the Raptor vacuum delivered to Starbase last month was meant for Starship S-20, seemingly confirming that the prototype will fly with a full 6 Raptor engines. Aside from Starship and Super Heavy, SpaceX still has a lot of work to get the rocket's initial orbital class launch sites up and running. SpaceX will have to finish and activate at least 1 or 2 more custom-built propellant storage tanks, sleeve those 3 or 4 tanks with 3 or 4 massive thermos-like shells, finish thousands of feet of insulated plumbing and wiring, finish a massive launch table, install that table on a 6-legged launch mount, and outfit that table and mount with an array of power, avionics, hydration, and other systems, and perform the first fit checks and shakedown tests with a real booster on Starship. Only then will SpaceX be able to attempt Starship's first space launch. Overall, SpaceX can finish all of the above work in less than 4 weeks, but the odds are likely to make a lottery ticket blush. Regardless, suppose Starship reaches orbit by the end of 2021. In that case, it will have outperformed simpler next-generation rockets such as Ariane 6, ULA's Vulcan, and Blue Origin's New Glenn, despite starting development years later and with a significantly less assured funding position. So that's it for the video, guys. Hope you found this video informative. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Did we miss out on anything? Feel free to let us know in the comments. See you all in the next video.